It is 6 o'clock on Thursday, April 9th. Welcome to tonight's public hearing. My name is Linus Kafka. I'm one of the zoning examiners for the city of Tucson. We have 3 cases scheduled for public hearing tonight, and we'll take the cases as they're listed on the agenda in that order. Before we begin, if everybody could, I'm going to do this myself, so if everybody can mute their phones or put them on silent. Sure. My phone now requires me to go through 3 steps to turn it on. As zoning examiner, I conduct rezoning hearings and special exception hearings on behalf of the mayor and council. I make findings of fact, which I put into a written report along with my recommendation, which I send to mayor and council for their consideration for their final decision in rezoning cases. My reports will be based on the information submitted to me, which includes the rezoning application or the special exception application, the staff reports, written approvals and protests, correspondence, and any testimony that is given at tonight's hearing. I'll also include in the record, excuse me, all documents submitted to me up to the close of the public hearing. Tonight's proceedings are being recorded. When I call on you to come forward and testify, please speak clearly into the microphone right over here and begin your testimony by stating your name and address. There's also a sign-in sheet. So we do have 3 separate hearings, as I said. We have rezoning cases and special exception cases. For the rezoning cases, I'll complete a preliminary report within 5 working days after the public hearing is closed. I'll then prepare a final report, which will be issued 14 days after the public hearing is closed. For the special exception cases, the process after tonight is that I'll issue a final recommendation to the mayor and council within 5 days after the public hearing is closed. If you'd like to receive a copy of the recommendations or reports and you're not listed already as a party of record, you want to see those reports, you can send an email to tucsonrezoning@tucsonaz.gov. That's, even if it's a special exception, you can send it to tucsonrezoning@tucsonaz.gov, or you can call the Tucson Planning and Development Services Department. Copies will also be made available through the PDSD website. For the rezoning and my final report, my recommendation on the special exception will be sent to the mayor and council for any scheduled public hearings on those cases. The mayor and council will then vote on the matter based on the recommendation, along with other factors that they take into consideration. So here's how tonight's public hearings will proceed. First, Planning and Development Services staff will give their report. Well, first, I'll open the public hearing for the agendized item. Then PDSD will give the report. The applicant will come forward to give their presentation, and then anybody from the public can come and speak on the matter and testify. Then the applicant may respond to those issues raised during the hearing, and throughout the hearing, I may ask some questions of presenters. For those of you who plan to speak or present tonight, I request that you stand and raise your hand so I can swear you in. So if anybody's presenting tonight, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right, thank you. Then let's begin. The first case on the agenda this evening is case number TPENT 1025-00018, 402 and 430 West Medina. And Mr. Olivas?
Good evening. Thank you. Jay Olivas, City Planning staff. This is a request by Keiko Inc. to rezone 2 parcels at 402 and 430 West Medina Road, totaling approximately 1 acre, from the R1 urban residence zone to the O2 office zone. The parcels are located approximately 330 feet east of South 12th Avenue on the north side of West Medina Road. The applicant with the proposed rezoning is seeking to increase the number of allowed clients at the existing adult daycare business, which is Lot 1, and convert an existing single-family residence, which is Lot 2, to an administrative and professional office. There are existing structures on both lots 1 and 2 under the current R1 zoning, with recent improvements completed on Lot 1 for the adult daycare, including pedestrian access, landscaping, and parking. The rezoning held a neighborhood meeting on August 25th, 2025. And at the neighborhood meeting, there were some basic issues raised by the residents that attended the neighborhood meeting. The key points were potential lack of notification regarding a separate and unaffiliated project in the area, distribution not including the Barrio Nopal Neighborhood Association, and potential concern about property taxes in the area that may be impacted as the result of the proposed rezoning. All these issues at the neighborhood meeting were addressed, and they are described in our staff report with further detail. The rezoning site on West Medina Road is subject to 2025 Plan Tucson. The future growth scenario map designates the area of the rezoning site as a neighborhoods building block. The subject site is also subject to the 2001 12th Avenue Valencia Road Area Plan. On this area plan, the subject site is designated currently low-density residential. There is a related plan amendment case that coincides with the rezoning that was heard separately. That the related case is TP Amendment 102500001. And the plan amendment is for the Valencia Road Area Plan, is to change the land use designation on the subject parcels from the current low-density residential to office in order to allow the daycare, adult daycare, and administrative professional offices. The plan amendment went through a recent hearing on March 18th at the Planning Commission for the plan amendment, and it was supported by the Planning Commission and will be going to the mayor and council. In terms of project background, the applicant's preliminary development plan depicts the westerly parcel, Lot 1, as an existing adult daycare facility totaling 6,080 square feet. The existing adult daycare facility, which is currently allowed in the R1 zone, proposes to increase the number of clients to unlimited, subject to maximum occupancy codes. In order to increase the number of clients from 10, the site needs to be rezoned, such as proposed with the O2 zoning. And that's for Lot 1. The applicants submitted a preliminary development plan for parcel 2, depicts the proposed use for administrative and professional offices. And that would be the conversion of an existing 1,700 square foot single-family residence and existing 1,200 square foot accessory structure to the offices, professional offices. In terms of design considerations, land use compatibility, the project site, as noted, is currently zoned R1, urban residence, and the prevalent zoning pattern along West Medina Road and immediate surrounding roads is R1 to the north, south, and east, with C1 immediately to the west. The proposed office zone with the rezoning to O2 is considered a good transition zone between commercial and residential uses in the immediate area. With this proposed rezoning to O2 office, that zoning, O2 zoning, allows maximum heights up to 26 feet, similar to and consistent with the existing R1 zone allowing heights up to 25 feet. The proposed rezoning facilitates the existing daycare facility and adaptive reuse of existing residential office building along a key corridor where there's existing infrastructure in place and strong urban activity. In terms of design compatibility, the adult daycare facility building will have has a sloped roof with square pop-out type architecture fronting on West Medina Road, which provides visual relief. The proposed office, which is an currently existing single-family residence, is compatible with existing single-family architecture across the street to the east and immediate surrounding area. For design compatibility, also the varying setbacks and proposed on-site parking improvements and enhanced landscaping provide site relief to mitigate any adverse impacts to the surrounding area. Additionally, the parking-related improvements will improve design compatibility of the project to the area and mitigate negative impacts regarding vehicle parking needs. Additionally, landscape planters, including shrubs, cactus, and trees, as depicted on the preliminary development plan, will also mitigate negative visual impacts to the surrounding area. In conclusion, the proposed rezoning is consistent with and supported by policy direction provided in 2025 Plan Tucson and the 2001 12th Avenue Valencia Road Area Plan as proposed to be amended, subject to compliance with the attached preliminary conditions. Approval of the requested O2 zoning is appropriate. In terms of the approval protest calculations, we've received 0 approvals and 0 protests for the rezoning. We would like to note there was 1 neutral letter from the notice from a person, but the letter was not about the project, but was included to be part of the record. And that concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you. And I did get a copy of that supplemental letter. Is it Mr. Cottrell?
Good evening. Is that working? Good evening. Nathan Cottrell, Keiko Engineering, 12409 West Indian School up in Avondale. Representing Raul Ibarra, the owner. See if I can. What am I supposed to be pointing at with this thing there? There you go. Kind of hard to see there. Thank you for the staff presentation. I'm sure you've seen these graphics before. I just wanted you to see the aerial with the residential on that south and the east side. There's our site in the yellow. And you can see on our west side is the commercial in the aerial. It's not developed, but it is being developed. There is a project there, C2. On our north side, it's zoned R1, but it is a church. It's a religious facility. And so this O2 potential is a great transition between those uses and the residential. You can see here that same C1 and the R1 next to it with our project right there on the boundary. And so we are proposing that O2, just those 2 blue parcels. Here's our site. If you haven't seen these before, on the west side there is the existing adult care facility allowed under the R1, but under the R1 it has a restriction on the number of occupants. So under the O2, that would be unlimited, just limited to the physical building code on it. And so we're not proposing any changes to that. We're just going to use the building to its potential. On the east lot is the existing home, single family, 1-story, that we're going to be converting to the professional office space. So parking, everything on there, pulling all the parking off the street. So it's actually a much better improvement for the neighborhood, sidewalk, landscaping, everything else, making sure that we're compatible with those. You saw there was no objections from the neighborhood. We think it's a great project. We agree to all the stipulations. We think this is something that can be approved. We request the approval. You have any questions?
There's apparently a parking agreement that you've put together for
Correct.
parcel 2 to be overflow parking for parcel 1.
Correct. So the parking agreement has to be in place. That's one of the stipulations, and we will enact that with an easement or whatever agreement we have to do. That allows that use on the adult care facility to have the correct number of beds and rooms that we've got. The employees will park on the next door lot.
Do you have an anticipated number of the capacity or usage? I know it's limited by the occupancy rules, but
So the state allows 10 clients per bathroom and the building has 5. So 50 clients plus the staff, just depending.
all right. Okay, I don't have any other questions. Does anybody have any questions on this matter?
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Any follow-up from staff? All right. Seeing no questions from anyone in the audience, I will now close public hearing in TPENT 1025-00018, the 402 and 430 West Medina property. Just getting ready for the long, okay. I'm now going to open the public hearing for case number TPENT 0126-00001, Ponderosa Dispensary, 25 East Blackledge Drive. And Mr. Beal, I believe you're giving the staff presentation on that.
So this is a request by Gamage and Burnham on behalf of Pitchfork Partners LLC for approval of a Marion Council special exception land use to allow the expansion of an existing marijuana dispensary. The project site is 0.83 acres located at the northeast corner of Northstone Avenue and Blackledge Drive. Previous case on the property, the existing dispensary business is currently a non-conforming land use previously developed in 2023 and was opened in December of 2024 as a dispensary. The applicant's project again is an expansion of an existing marijuana dispensary to add a drive-through window, an interior storage area through the Marion Council special exception procedure in accordance with UDC section 3.44. The project building site sits on the eastern half of the property with main parking lot located to the west of the building and a small employee parking area located to the east of the building. There are 3 entry points to the property using existing curb cuts. 2 entries are located on East Blackledge Drive and the 3rd entry on Northstone Avenue bordering the west property line. The proposed use is compatible with established commercial land uses along Northstone Avenue, which is an existing arterial road. There's a design consideration, actually a comment from the Department of Transportation and Mobility, that a right turn only sign with driveway design will be placed so that traffic exiting the site from the drive-through west to east along East Blackledge encourages traffic towards the arterial street, therefore promoting bicycle and pedestrian safety through removal of a radius turns away from the residential homes to the east. This is also a condition, as one of the conditions. The proposed special exception is consistent with Plan Tucson and in compliance with performance criteria of UDC sections 3.4.4, 3.4.5, 4.8.6, and 4.9.9, subject to compliance with the attached preliminary conditions. Approval of the special exception land use in the C2 zone is appropriate. As of today's date, there's been 0 approvals, 0 protest. However, staff did receive a protest letter from the Bronx Neighborhood Association and their concern was primarily about traffic impact along the future Blackledge Bike Boulevard.
Thank you, Mr. Beal. Is the presenter Michelle Santoro? Lynn?
Thank you so much for having me here tonight. Again, Gamage Burnham, 40 North Central, Phoenix, Arizona, 85004. So not only is Michelle Santoro with me here, but I also have the owner operator, Michael O'Brien, as well as the applicant, or I'm the applicant, as well as the architect, Raymond Rash. I will do my best not to be duplicative. Not to be duplicative of what staff said. Staff gave a great presentation. Again, this is an existing dispensary located at the corner of Stone and Blackledge. So the history, and as again was described, this was originally approved prior to the special exception process. And so that's why we're here now. Again, this is an owned and operated 3,806 square foot compliant marijuana dispensary with some additional administrative and professional offices. And it has been in operation with no problems. We have twice annual unannounced inspections from the Arizona Department of Health Services and have passed every one. December 20th, 2020, the Tucson ordinance changed and therefore required the special exception process for any marijuana uses or modifications of this size. So that's why we're here this evening. So thank you so much. The existing building is 6,050 square feet. So it's important, hearing officer, we are not looking forward to, we're not making any exterior changes to the building other than modifications required for the drive-through. Everything is inside. So right now we are using 3,806 square feet, but there's another 2,244 square feet of unoccupied storage. As you can tell, we are very compliance oriented, as for the fact that we wanted to ensure that we get approval from you and from mayor and council, hopefully, in order to move forward and use that space. So again, this request is to incorporate the additional 2,244 square feet. 804 square feet of it will be used for the drive-through and a staging area. And then the other 1,440 square feet is for additional square footage. So it'll be nice. With this special exception, the entire building can be used, as opposed to now there's portions of it that cannot be used. So this is a floor plan. I believe it was in your file, but to depict, again, the blue is the existing dispensary floor area that's been operational in compliance with the City of Tucson, as well as Department of Health Services. The orange building, the little kind of shootout there, that's additional, that will be used for additional storage. We do not plan to, right now it would be illegal for us to put any product or anything in there. We just want to be able to use that area. And then in purple is the new storage staging area for the drive-through, as well as the addition of the drive-through window. Here is the site plan. Again, as described by staff, we've got stipulation 10 that I will tell you we're in full agreement with. And it's hard to see, especially here so small, but all the traffic for the drive-through must enter off Stone. And then you can see itty bitty little cars, kind of the staging area that will go in front of the dispensary. Down kind of at the corner of the purple box there, you can see on the improvements what we are going to do in order to satisfy stipulation 10. And we are in full agreement to limit to do right lane only at the furthest end of the drive-through, and there is no ability to drive in on that first drive-through on Blackledge and enter the drive-through. Because of those improvements, there's a little triangle, although it's hard to see. You cannot turn in off there and enter the drive-through. You have to enter off Stone and queue appropriately, and we'll make sure that the modifications are in place. If someone tries to do it the first time, they won't do it again. Here is a view of the elevations of the proposed use if approved. with the expansion of the drive-through. We will meet all the screening requirements, and frankly, I would submit to you, make the building look better than it did. Raymond, the architect, did a really fabulous job on here. Where I'm going to walk through the 5 tests in a second, but I think this is demonstrative of how we are making the area better. There actually are numerous reports in the city of Phoenix of areas that dispensaries, even cultivation and infusion, when they go in with all the cameras in place, with the cooperation with first responders, getting eyes on the area, dispensaries really have proven to not only aesthetically elevate areas of part of town, but really make them safer in terms of engagement with neighborhood groups, all the cameras. First responders in Gilbert actually went to the dispensary. They're having an issue with a stolen credit card, and they did a stakeout and through work between, it's not this operator, but a different operator, and Gilbert, they were able to find the guy. So, car accidents, all those things. The dispensaries have proven to actually be great partners of first responders. So this is what exists today. So I would submit to you, it's a much better, safer location, aesthetically better. And this will be, if approved today and ultimately by council, existing again is at the top and the proposed is to the south. I think the addition of the drive-through will add to the aesthetics and the look of the neighborhood as well. Will tell you there are a lot of rules with the Department of Health Services to ensure that this is a safe and secure operation. There are other dispensaries in Tucson that have drive-throughs, as well as in the balance of the state. There have proven to be no issues. Dispensary drive-throughs typically do not add any more traffic. It is just an extra amenity. The majority of the people that choose to use a drive-through have either medical concerns, are elderly, and or have pets. There's an amazing number of people who like to bring their pets with them everywhere they go, and they are not allowed in dispensaries. And so if they are in their car, they can pick up their product and keep their pet with them. So there are 5 findings that we have to meet, coming forward with a recommendation of approval from staff, and I would agree that we meet the findings. Again, the first one, that will meet the standards expressly applied by the adopted codes, regulations, type of land use class that are proposed for the use. Again, it's an existing dispensary. We are in compliance with the existing zoning and have had no problems in operation here with either the City of Tucson or the Arizona Department of Health Services. Finding number 2 does not adversely affect land uses surrounding neighborhoods such that adverse effects can be substantially mitigated through the use of additional conditions. Again, we have 11 conditions and we are okay, we are supportive of all of them and agree to all of them. Again, I would say the drive-through will help the customer base. Again, it does not add to traffic. It's simply a service for those that need it, who use the product, who are clients or medical patients or adult users. And then again, the security plan that's required to be on file with the state of Arizona. I've not heard any problems in the state where there have been any security issues with drive-throughs in dispensaries, because there is so much security that goes into place. And I would also submit to you far less intense than many other uses that are allowed in C2, such as a Circle K or something like that. Far less trafficked and far more secure. Number 3, adequate and efficient vehicular pedestrian access as well as circulation. We are required 22 parking spots. We have 36. And then again, with stipulation or condition number 10, doing everything to mitigate vehicular traffic into the residential neighborhood and trying to keep most traffic off of Stone. 4, can adequately and efficiently be served by public facilities services such as water, stormwater, fire, police. Again, we have been operational in our 3,000 plus 3,800 square foot dispensary. We already have water, sewer, and have worked with fire and police. So submit to you, we meet that. Last one, 5, complies with the general plan, applicable sub-regional area or neighborhood plans. Again, this is already zoned, designated for commercial use. There are far more intense commercial uses that are allowed in the zoning category that would be allowed here. So, with the pictures, which I know you just have to find, we meet the test, but I'd say we comply with the zoning, we comply with the general plan, and will be an asset not only for our customers, but also the neighborhood. So with that, respectfully request approval and stand for any questions.
Did you receive or get a copy of the written comment regarding the Blackledge Bike Boulevard from President of the Bronx Park Neighborhood Association?
Hearing officer, I did. We have a copy of it here. Thank you to staff for sharing it with us. We did follow up with staff after we received that comment. I believe that stipulation 10 and the improvements that we are making, as well as our queuing coming on and off of Stone, we will encourage all of our customers to do that. As well as, again, unlike a McDonald's or something where you just, Starbucks, you just, oh gosh, I would like a coffee, and you just kind of pull in. Again, dispensary traffic is normally planned, organized clients who are used to the area. So very much support all ped and bicycle access. And I believe working with staff that we realized that the potential problem earlier and the mitigation in place is satisfactory to alleviate these concerns.
Is Ms. Schultz or anybody from the neighborhood association here this evening? Before I ask if anybody wants to speak about the project, the letter from Ms. Schultz is in the record. I just want to acknowledge it, but I also, for the record, I'll may integrate that into the recommendation. I think the Blackledge Bike Boulevard plan does incorporate some of the traffic suggestions that Ms. Schultz is referring to, and that's separate and apart from the proposed project, but I think it is part of the city's plan as part of the Blackledge Bike Boulevard construction to do some of the things there. Just as a note, I don't have any other questions for you.
Perfect. Thank you. And that's a good FYI that that's forthcoming and that.
Yeah, that's my understanding. I think staff can confirm that as well. Yeah. And
Thank
I
you.
already kind of asked, yeah, thank you, if anybody else was here to speak on this case. These are, you're all in support. Okay, in that case, with that notation about the letter from the neighborhood association, a neighborhood association, because it's not the neighborhood association, yeah, a nearby neighborhood association. I will hereby close case number TPENT 0126000001, Ponderosa Dispensary. Thank you. And why do we have to have so many zeros? I have to slow down, and it's like reading a bank card. All right, the next case on the agenda. Yes, thank you. Have a safe drive back to Phoenix if you're heading back to Phoenix tonight. Thank you. Yes. Next case on the agenda this evening is case number TPENT 0126000003, Dental Wise, 404 North Alvernon, and Mr. Olivas.
Thank you. Good evening, Jay Olivas, planning staff. This is a request by the Planning Center on behalf of Dental Wise for approval of a zoning examiner's special exception land use to allow expansion of a commercial medical services outpatient use, excluding blood donation centers, for a dental office remodel. The project site's located at the northwest corner of North Alvernon and East Holmes Street, more specifically at 404 North Alvernon Way. It consists of a existing commercial office building on 0.34 acre parcel. The subject parcel is currently zoned urban residence R3. For the proposed special exception, there was public outreach. The applicant's team held a neighborhood meeting on December 29th, 2025. No members of the public attended the neighborhood meeting, Additionally, no calls or emails for this meeting were received according to the applicant's information. The project site is subject to Plan Tucson 2025. The proposed use site is located within the mixed-use corridor building block of the future growth scenario map. The special exception site is also subject to Alvernon Broadway area plan. The area plan designates the subject property as office, high-density residential. In terms of project background, the zoning administrator has previously determined that the project is a legal non-conforming use that is proposing an expansion. The use expansion triggers a zoning examiner special exception and compliance with use specific standards 4.9402, 4.94 P1, 2A3, and 4I. The project was reviewed for land use compatibility. The specific building will expand an existing 2,424 square foot commercial office building with a 516 square foot addition. The project site with the existing building is surrounded by existing commercial medical outpatient office building to the north, a hotel to the south, and existing single-family dwellings to the east and west. The surrounding zones and land uses will be buffered by proposed site improvements such as block walls along the northerly and westerly perimeters with additional landscaping. The proposed special exception for the medical service dental office use totaling 2,940 square feet is unlikely to directly affect nearby property owners in a negative way due to corner street location as prior medical service office use with existing street improvements and on-site parking. In terms of design compatibility, the applicant's preliminary development plan shows the project consisting of a prior dentist office that is vacant. The building is circa 1965. It was recently purchased by a new dentist and is planned for a major renovation with a minor addition to the building, utilizing existing parking pavement area with new site improvements. Vehicle access to the project site is provided from North Alvernon Way, East Home Street. Parking calculations for the expansion are similar to the previous use in the existing building to be remodeled. And there are minimal proposed changes to existing parking other than repaving, striping, and new tree islands. The existing building will be improved with a new roof that allows greater interior ceiling heights. The improvements will not alter the building's function or add additional stories, ensuring the privacy of adjacent residential properties to the east of the alleyway and west of North Alvernon Way will be maintained. As indicated, new landscaping will be added to enhance the buffer between the property and neighboring residences. In conclusion, the proposed special exception is consistent with Plan Tucson 2025 and in compliance with performance criteria of UDC sections 3.43, 3.45, 4.84, and 4.94, subject to compliance with the attached preliminary conditions. Therefore, approval of the special exception land use in the R3 zone is appropriate. In terms of the approval protest calculations, there were 2 approvals received. And that concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you. Is it Ms. Willett? Thanks.
Good evening, Mr. Kafka and John and Jay. Lovely to see you all. My name is Lexi Willett, and I'm with the Planning Center. We're located at 2 East Congress here in downtown Tucson. I'm also joined this evening by Dr. Rodriguez, the owner of DentalWise, as well as Joseph Mayer, our architect, who's been helping design the expansion of the building there. I have a really brief presentation. Mr. Olivas did a great job going through the history of the site and the merits.
Regarding the presentation.
I was going
We
to
only
ask.
have the PDF, so you might have to say, next slide. Oh, it works. They gave Dabby. Okay.
Very
I
good.
apologize for interrupting.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. But again, thank you so much for having us here today. As Mr. Olivas noted, the property we're looking at requesting a zoning examiner special exception for is located at the northeast corner of Alvernon Way and East Holm Street, which is about 0.3 miles north of Broadway Boulevard there. The property is currently developed with a 2,400 square foot building that has been there since roughly 1965 and has historically had medical office users up until I believe 2023, 2024, somewhere in the recent years here, and most recently was a dentist office. The property is currently zoned R3. To the north, it's a zoned O3 with medical office uses, and then south of us across Holm Street is Lodge on the Desert there. So along a rather commercial corridor on the west side there. And then on either side of the property, separated by right-of-way to the east and west, are residentially zoned properties there. As indicated by Mr. Olivas, our proposal here, which is warranting the special exception, is the 500 square foot expansion to modernize the building so that it functions in a much more suitable way for dental practice, et cetera, as opposed to what was constructed back in 1965 or so. As a part of the improvements, in addition to the 500 square foot expansion, we're looking to install a new sidewalk along Holm Street, which currently does not exist, as well as some new pedestrian access paths adjacent to the building and out to each of the right-of-ways, which currently does not exist. In addition, we are installing new canopy trees within the parking area to facilitate, shade and mitigate urban heat island effect, as well as provide those tree wells for rainwater harvesting. In order for this use to locate, as Mr. Olivas noted, within the R3 zone, it is subject to approval and compliance with 5U specific standards. Those standards are largely, what type of use. It excludes a blood donor, which we are not proposing. We are proposing a dentist office. We are adjacent to a major street and route, with the frontage of our building being within 150 feet of that intersection there. The existing building is over 20 feet from any residentially zoned property. We are not requesting any alterations from the setbacks that are required by the use-specific standards, and licensure will be provided at the time of the development as required by the state. So with that, that concludes my presentation, and I welcome any questions from you.
I don't have any questions.
Very good.
And unless somebody else from the team would like to speak, I don't see anybody else in the audience. And if no one else has anything to add, I think staff has nothing to add, then thank you. I'll close the public hearing.
Thank you so much.
All right, that concludes the hearings set for the zoning examiner's agenda for April 9th, 2026. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you.